Gentlemen, welcome yet another golf show. And today we have two distinguished guests. One is Mr. Scott Burr from Australia, a professional player and presently a coach based in Perth, Australia. Welcome, Mr. Scott Burr.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Next, we have another very good professional leading player of PGTI and also a player board member in PGTI, Mr. Manav Jani, who was around Asian Tour, European Tour, and also in PGTI. So, Mr. Manav Jani, welcome.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Okay, so we'll start with Mr. Manav Jani first. Mr. Manav Jani, indeed, I know you for a long time. You have been a very popular player and leading player of PGTI. Whenever I've seen your game, I like one of my favorite player is your game. I mean, favorite game. I saw your game, so just wanted to know from you that European Tour, co-sanction European, you have been in and around. I mean, you have been in just within top three in Asian Tour. Some even I have seen in European Tour, and in PGTI. I wish you won some PGTI tournament also. Can you share me some achievement of you in PGTI?
Well, in PGTI, I have had 2 wins. I have won. My first win was in 2011. It was the SRF match play tournament that we used to host. I won that, and the second win was in 2013. I won the JP Greens Open.
Okay, that's great. So please tell me. Let me also bring Mr. Scott Burr here. But to know his Scott Burr, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, Scott Burr. Indeed, I also want to know. I know you had been you played some European Tour for 3 years. You played in Asian Tour for long, 15 years. Also, you played in US Open. So what's about now? Do you play any more of professional golf or just be involved in coaching?
Well, currently I'm coaching, but I am almost, I've got 2 years till the seniors tour. So I'll be 50 in 2 years. So I am definitely starting to look that and possibly try and work my way into one of the seniors tours, whether that be Japan or America. In Australia, we have a pretty good seniors circuit as well, so that's an option. So I'm starting to practice again, I'm looking forward to that.
Okay, I'll come back to you. That's a good one. We are going in short answers and questions so that it doesn't cross our time. I'll come back now to Manav Jani and. To Manav Jani, can you hear me, Manav Jani?
Yes, you're absolutely clear, audible, sir, no problem.
Okay, Manav Jani, as I said, you are very, very popular player in Indian PGTI ranks. So, can you tell me something that you are a board member, and PGTI has established one of the best tour in Asia, being it is ranked, world ranking is there, and also your player, you have been pushing one after another young player to Asian Tour, European Tour, and your game the standard of your game has gone high. So what all you did for a PGTI, and as a board member, how do you look at this?
Sir, I'll keep my answer short so that we don't run over time. But I can tell you one thing, that when the PGTI was formed in 2006 October, one of the main endeavors was to give the players control of their own destiny. And we have just tried to make policies as we have gone along, which have always been beneficial to each and every member of the tour. It doesn't matter what his ranking is. We are trying to give everybody who comes to the qualifying school an equal opportunity to play as well as he can on the tour. And of course, if you are amongst the better players and you prove yourself, then you move on to getting to play the co-sanctioned tournaments which happen in Asia. And if you are amongst the top 20, 25, then you move on to even getting to play the co-sanctioned Asian plus European Tour tournaments. Having said that, that is part of what we have tried to do in PGTI. We have a very strong grassroots junior system. I think a lot of the good players that are coming out today are thanks to the junior system that we have present in the country. So, PGTI is giving them a stepping stone where they can look at playing on better tours like the Asian Tour, the European Tour, but they are being fed into us from the very good grassroots junior system that we have got, which has 3 or 4 now very good junior tours, which is whether it be the Albatross Tour, the Champions Tour, whether it be the Ultimate Junior Tour, they are all very, very good.
I see. Okay, thank you for your good informations. Let me bring back Mr. Scott again, and then I'll talk to you again. Mr. Scott Burr, So you are now fully involved in your academy,
Right.
and
Yeah.
golf coaching, so far I understand, in Perth, Australia. So can you share that what is it open during this COVID, and what a player should do during COVID to keep him
Okay.
fit?
Yeah, well, look, we closed for 1 month, and that was over the course of May. But now business is back to normal. In fact, our golf in Australia, and I think pretty much around the world, has been better than ever with COVID, because there wasn't too many sporting options. There's no team sports, there's no gyms. So golf actually has been very good. Business has been exceptionally good. As it turns out, today I would be working, but it's been raining all day, so there's no golf. And look, I think the people mostly through COVID have been doing their home exercises to try and keep golf ready. In Australia, I know we built a lot of indoor nets. We have pretty big houses here. I think in India, a lot of those, bungalows are perfectly suited. So you can hit balls inside just into a driving net and keep your game in shape that way.
Okay, that's great. Great for your advice. Thank you. Please stand by. Let me also now bring Mr. Manoj Jani again. Manoj Jani, my question is: you have been number of times to Bangladesh for PGTI event, for Asian Tour event. I saw you playing Asian Tour, Asian Development Tour, PGTI Tour in Bangladesh. So, can you share some experience of Bangladesh, playing golf in Bangladesh?
Well, I have been lucky to have played fairly well at the Kurmitola Golf Club as and when I have been there. So I have only good memories of playing golf in Bangladesh. I think the golf course that you have, Kurmitola Club, that's probably as good as any golf course anywhere in the world, with the condition that you keep it in and the driving range. The whole infrastructure around that golf course is excellent. I think, Bangladesh has done a phenomenal job in creating many good players with the limited resources that are available to them. And some of them, have come and whether it be Zamal, Siddiqui, they have not only come and played really well on the PGTI, but gone ahead and played on really well on the Asian Tour. So I think Bangladesh is absolutely on the right track. I guess all they need little bit is now a little bit of support from the corporate world, who can pump in some money to really give these guys wings.
Okay, that's great. Okay, that's great. Good points that you brought out. Very good point. In fact, for Bangladesh golf, if my audience and some administrator listen to it, I am sure somebody is there and asking some question. I'll come back to their audience remarks later. But let me bring now first again Mr. Scott Barr. Scott, you are a leading coach. I have given your website also here so that our player or people understand and know exactly where are you. So tell me about how a Bangladeshi player can contact you and visit Australia, or if you want to visit Bangladesh for a certain period for coaching, because a coaching staff is also a requirement for Bangladesh golf, so I understand. How do address these issues?
Well, look, obviously at this time it's difficult to travel. Unfortunately, Australia, we are not taking any international travellers right now. I'm sure that will change. But look, I'm interested to travel to Bangladesh given the right circumstances. I'm sure you can look me up on my website or the Facebook page. I think what the style of my coaching is more about how you can best score well. I know the technique. I've been to some leading instructors myself about swing technique, and that's something that I pride myself on. But I think to be an elite player, to get better, you've got to learn the fine details of how to score, how to use your short game, how to play strategic golf. And that's sort of where I specialise in how you can actually build a game to compete at an international level.
Okay, thank you. So stand by, please. Let me again talk to Mr. Manoj Jani. Manoj Jani, can you hear me, please?
Sir, I'm not being able to hear you very clearly. Is it all right if I can leave and reconnect?
Yeah, please reconnect, yeah.
Yes, I'll just leave. You can direct the next question to Scott and I'll come back.
Okay, so by this time, let me continue with Mr. Scott Barr. He's reconnecting his connection. So Scott Barr, so now this, as you already answered, that during the COVID, how a professional player can keep himself fit. So, as you have many followers in Bangladesh, I know. So, can you advise really little more about that? What all a player should do to attend a golf academy or your during this COVID both?
Well, with anyone, I think during COVID, and as I mentioned, you've got the internet and you are limited with where you can play. I would suggest that the better players want to start looking up older golf tournaments, get onto YouTube, start watching some of those old tournaments and watch how players strategize their way around the golf course. Pay close attention, not so much to the great shots, because everyone will hit those, but to how they get out of trouble, how they can sort of figure out a way to get around the golf course and make a good score. Because if you watch these great major championships, often it comes down. We saw that with Tiger Woods last year. It was the last man standing, and who made the least mistakes. So if you can start to figure that out when you watch players, and this COVID is the perfect time to do that, really. You've got plenty of time to do that.
Okay, that's great. Great. Stand by, please. Now, as we have been talking to Mr. Manav Jani, I think Manav Jani, I think he can hear me now.
Yes, sir, I can hear you. You're perfectly audible. Thank you.
Okay, Manav Jani, in fact, as I said, PGTI is a idol and inspiration for Bangladesh golf. So, what is your, plan? Are you opening your PGTI soon? And when is your next tournament? And what's about PGTI traveling to Bangladesh this year?
Well, sir, I'll take traveling to Bangladesh first. Right now, international travel is even banned from India, and we don't know the, standard operating procedure of how it will once it opens. Whether what the quarantine lookout will be by the government of India if you fly back to India, if you fly out anywhere. So I think for the time being, for us to travel outside of India to play any tournament would be very tough post-sanction because we don't have any SOP in place. However, as a board, our endeavor is to push to try and start opening and playing tournaments as early as September, October. That is what we are, striving for. We again, come from a federal structure where we have different states which have different SOPs in place for their own quarantine. So we are basically waiting for a sort of consensus between all the states to come in, and where we know what the status of quarantine of all states is. If it's consistent, then we can look at allowing domestic travel to happen for our players to start moving in. Even for the players who would like to come from Bangladesh, it is most important for us to know how they would be when they were flown in, whether they would have to go to quarantine, not go to quarantine. So these are questions which we don't have answers to as yet, but we are hoping that we can find answers to them as quickly as possible and try and get the show on the road as soon as possible.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so please stand by. We are at the fag end of our event, so I'll be going to Mr. Scott Barr for last time. Mr. Scott Barr, can you hear me, please?
Yeah, no problem.
So in Australia, I wish everything is open. Golf is open.
Yeah,
and
very lucky.
Okay, your academy also is open.
Yeah. No, we've been back open now for a month or a bit over a month, and I have to say, all golf courses in Australia have basically been booked out. It's been it's such a tragic time and testing time, but golf has been a real winner in Australia. We've seen record numbers of golfers, new golfers. Golf stores are selling stacks of equipment. So if there's one winner out of this whole COVID, it's actually been golf as far as I'm aware of.
Okay, then tell me something about your professional career and also advice for our very young professionals, a young country. We are in golf, Bangladesh. Have you played with any Bangladeshi golfer?
Yeah, of course. I've played with Sidika many times. He's a fantastic player. I think your country is very proud of his achievements. He's one of the best Asian Tour players and has been for, the last decade or so. And I've been fortunate enough to play in Bangladesh once, which I thoroughly enjoyed. The golf course is fantastic. So I always enjoyed playing in India as well. I love playing in India. I played there many times in Bangladesh and played a lot on the PGTI events that were co-sanctioned with the Asian Tour. They're always great fun and always character-building experiences. And just to answer that question about the younger guys, what they should be doing, I think, Manav there, follow the footsteps of what he's saying, try and get into the local domestic tours and, really work harder than the guy next to you, and you should be able to climb the ladder. The Asian Tour is a great tour to be playing on. You play in all the countries. And of course, the Asian Tour, I mean, we've seen many players, they step onto the European Tour. I did that myself. And then ultimately the PGA Tour. And I'm pretty sure there'll be some major champions coming out of Asia very shortly.
That's great. Thank you for your words. Stand by, please. Manoj Jani, if I can come back to you again, is regarding PGTI players, and also you have been long time out for PGTI and also for Asian Tour. If you can have some advice for our junior, the professionals, what all they should do to reach to your PGTI standard?
I think competitiveness will breed success. I think they need to play as many tournaments within Bangladesh as much as possible to get what you call tournament temperament. I think, there's no dearth of talent in either India or Bangladesh. I think we can produce world-class players going forward. I think what we need is a lot of infrastructure in terms of having a lot of tournaments taking place on good golf courses where you can actually play on golf courses that you would find when you travel overseas for both our countries. So I think Bangladesh needs to, I know they are developing their local professional tour. I think all the young kids will aspire to play on that local professional tour in the beginning, like the Siddiqui and the Mals that Bangladesh already produced. And hopefully from there, they will come to play within the PGTI and then move on to the Asian and the European tour. But I think most important for them is to play as much tournament golf as possible.
Okay, stand by, please. Let me bring Mr. Scott Barr for last time. Scott, I think you can hear me. Okay, so Australia, as you had been saying me, if anyone from Bangladesh wants to travel and get higher training, or tell us something about your Australian golf first. What's about Australian professional golf? How do you rank it? How do you see that all about Australian golf?
Well, Australia's been, obviously, I've been playing golf here my whole life. We've had amazing champions over the years, Greg Norman, Peter Thompson, Steve Elkington, Adam Scott, Jason Day, world number ones multiple times. It's a fantastic country to play golf in. I'm in Perth, which is the western side of Australia. We have amazing golf courses here. And believe me, it's very cheap compared to Asia to play here. And there's a lot of great players. I mean, we have talented juniors everywhere. There's great golf programs in place. So really, Australia is a beautiful country to play golf in. We're very spoiled compared to what I know, some of the hurdles you have to go through in India and in Bangladesh. You don't really have those here. We have plenty of space and plenty of golf. And the government sponsors a lot of the golf courses, so it's reasonably cheap. So if anyone does want to come down here, I mean, I have you can see my websites come up, or you can contact me through Facebook.
Do you have, let me add a question to your answer. Do you have any winner in major tournaments or USGA or European Tour from Australia? Especially any winners in majors?
Oh, well, yeah, of course, Adam Scott, Jason Day's won majors, Greg Norman's won majors, Steve Elkington, Ian Baker Finch. I mean, we've had Peter Thompson won 5 British Opens. Yeah, we've had some pretty good players come from Australia, and we've got some very talented young ones now that are just coming through, both in Asia, and I'm sure you'll start to see them, and in Europe and America.
Okay. For last time, I'll come back to you again. For the last time, or maybe Mr. Manoj Jani, can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
Ian, tell us something about your, as you're saying that you have also number of players playing in majors, European Tour, American Tour. I know in Anibal Lai, Shubhankar, and before that, there are a lot of players like Jibmilka Singh, Rahil Gandhi, so many players. You have been produced one after another. So what is how do you find now Indian golf in standard in Asia?
I think golf amongst Asian standards, we are probably one of the flag bearers of Asian golf, along with Thailand. I think Thailand has produced also some world class players. We are there. Malaysia is hot on the heels of producing some very, very good players now. So I think Indian golf is coming of age. I think the next decade will have some great players coming out of India. I mean, Jeev and Gaurav, Jeev Milkha Singh, Gaurav Ghai, Arjun Atwal, Jyoti, they did it without really a system being here in place. Looking at them, we've got Anirban, Gaganjeet with some sort of system that they have come through. And now that the system gets more and more formalized, I think we'll be able to, produce better and more world class players. We have a lot of good players, but there are very few world class players that we are being able to produce that can reach the highest level. I think with the system now that is there in place now, the next decade will see a lot many more world class players. I mean, kids like Kalin who have come out now, I think they have a really bright future ahead of them going forward.
Okay. Okay, I'll come back. Stand by, please. Mr. Scott Bird, to you, the last question is, what is your experience playing some major or most memorable experience of your life as a professional golfer?
Look, I mean, when I was on tour, I had 5 second-place finishes. I lost a few playoffs. But my most memorable was probably the 2004 Open Championship, playing there. I played behind Tiger Woods for the first 2 days, and there was a big crowd. I played very well. So that's probably the one that stands out the most. Major championships are fun to play in. I played the US Open when Rory won his first major. That was fun. But the Open Championship was probably the best.
Okay. Stand by, please. Manav Jani, I have seen you. You are one of my, as I already said, you are one of very favorite player and favorite likeness of many Indian golfers, popular golfer you are. So how do you maintain this personality, and also what is your most memorable experience in any circuit?
I really don't know how to answer how I maintain my personality. I just think that people are kind, they like me, and so I have a good relationship with many of my fellow professionals. One of my most memorable events, moments for playing golf was, I'm not known as one of the longer hitters on tour, and I won the JP Greens Open, which is considered one of the longest golf courses in Asia. So I think that was a really nice feeling to, kind of go out there and win on one of the longer golf courses.
Okay. Thank you very much. In fact, I want to thank both of you. You have been my guest today. It was excellent pleasure. It was a big pleasure for me that I could get both of you together. Please pray for us so that we can work for development and golf. Thank you very much. I am obliged. Thank you, Mr. Manoj Jani. Thank you, Mr. Scott Bird.
Thank you. Take care. Thank you.
See you. See you.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.